is Salba? Meet the Miala brothers. A journey into new food. Two brothers embarked on a mission to develop a boutique variety of ancient grain. Their grapes were the prize of the local vineyard. Their jojoba plants had provided a consistent source for the cosmetic companies to access this exotic sustainable ingredient. The adventure of Salba begins here, in the hands of people who protect and respect the best principles in farming. The legend of Salvia Hispanica. Salvia Hispanica L is recognized as the Aztec running food, where a messenger would run from village to village on only a handful of salba. When discovering this legend, the Miala brothers visited the regions of the world that were known historically for growing this legendary crop. The facts behind the nutrition of Salvia Hispanica L. Known to botanists and some early nutrition researchers, as well as historians, as a legendary source of energy, the brothers analyzed many different varieties of Salvia Hispanica and learned that Salvia Hispanica L is nutritionally superior and could be the most nutritionally consistent. One of the great benefits of Salvia Hispanica L is that it is traditionally high in omega-3s and fiber. Early animal feed tests demonstrated that hens eating black Salvia Hispanica had a leaner muscle mass and less overall weight. The brothers knew that this seed had the nutrition they needed, but the color was not nice looking in their meals, and there was always a slightly bitter taste that always seemed to spoil their meals. 14 years of selective breeding, certified non-GMO. Salba was found by planting the numerous varieties of Salvia Hispanica L and choosing the plant that grew to the most consistent height with the most nutrient-dense seeds. When the seeds were analyzed, they found that there were a tiny few white seeds in each bush that were white, more nutrient-dense, and had no taste at all. By selecting those white seeds to replant, over a 14-year period, the Miala brothers established a new variety that has been recognized by the Argentinian and Peruvian government as its own unique variety. Crop failure. It was 1998 and Salba was ready to be harvested for the first time. Over 70 hectares of land was planted. The brothers were sure they knew that this seed would be the one that was the most nutritious in the world. Well, it wasn't. Actually, the seed was empty and void of any nutrients. Was there ever really such a thing as Salba, the brothers asked themselves? Was there really an Aztec running food that was white and more nutritious than the other forms of Salvia Hispanica? There was only one way to find out. Keep trying. Y2K. The year of the new crop, or at least it was for the brothers. After 14 years of selectively breeding, with 2 growing seasons per year, Salba has been born by using agronomically viable and sustainable breeding techniques. Y2K would not be the year of the new crop. For Salba, it became the year of finding a research partner to demonstrate what they knew. Salba is the most nutrient-dense food in nature. Research discoveries. At first, the research did not show anything special about the benefits of Salba. People enjoyed it, but the measurements of improved health were not captured. Everyone who was eating Salba felt great, but no one knew why. One Dr. Vuxen had an idea. What if you measure what Salba can do for people who have problems regulating blood sugar? Dr. Vuxen and the team at his clinic chose a group of type 2 diabetes patients to perform their research on, and they were right. The people in the study felt great. They had more energy, had better heart health, and had better blood sugar levels, among a great many other health factors that prove Salba to be incredibly effective in human nutrition and satiety. Meeting source Salba partners. In 2006, Salba was ready to be presented to consumers. But where were the brothers going to start selling it? USA? China? Germany? What was the most populous place that had educated consumers that would understand the benefits of omega-3s, fiber, and antioxidants? Canada was chosen, and Mark and Anne were selected to create a brand identity and plan. 9 months later, Canadians were introduced to Salba officially. Canada shows the world about Salba. In November 2007, the research performed on Salba was released in a medical journal called Diabetes Care. They said what the brothers have said for years: Salba is the most nutrient-dense whole food on earth. Source Salba has told you to simply add Salba to anything you eat, and the word is spread. Now thousands of Canadians are enjoying the benefits of whole, functional, raw, and gluten-free food living.
Often that a food comes along that is considered virtually perfect. You don't have to cook it, peel it, or grind it, and it's really, really good for you. It's called Salba, and what's even more exciting, this simple grain appears to have some definite medical benefits. Sarah Remmer cares about what she eats. That's why she now adds Salba to her diet.
Mix it into smoothies. You could use it in baking. I made muffins, actually.
It's a tiny seed, but a nutritional powerhouse. On a gram-per-gram basis, it's got 6 times more calcium than milk, 3 times more iron than spinach, and 8 times more omega-3 fats than salmon.
The main source of omega-3s is fish, fatty fish, and we tend not to have enough of that in our diet, so it's really high in omega-3s. It's also really high in fiber, both soluble and insoluble fiber, and it's also a really good source of protein.
A recent study of Salba among 20 diabetics at the University of Toronto showed a 40% reduction in their levels of C-reactive protein, a risk factor for heart disease. It lowered their blood pressure by 10/5, and it thinned their blood, making it less likely to clot.
These are all based on type 2 diabetic patients that are well controlled. So whatever the medical community has been able to do for these patients, by just simply including a simple, whole, functional food like Salba, you had those dramatic improvements.
It's a big seller at health food stores, but it's expensive, about $23 a bag.
The fact that it is coming from South America, obviously it has to be produced down there because that's where this plant is indigenous to. So to ship it up here is going to add to the expense.
These shoppers say it's worth it.
It's a good fiber support, so helps keep everything regular.
That high fiber content may give Salba its next claim to fame as an aid in weight loss.
Soluble fiber does help you to stay fuller longer, so it helps with satiety and sort of curbs your craving for your next meal.
That study isn't in yet. In the meantime, Remmer says Salba is an easy way to sneak in more nutrients without altering the taste of your favorite foods. The seeds come from the plant called Salvia Hispanica. It's grown in Peru. By the way, the company did try to grow it in southern Saskatchewan, but it just wasn't hot enough. The plant wouldn't flower. So it's not going to be a Canadian crop, unfortunately, Bree.
Very interesting.
It is.
Might have to try it.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Well, in Taranaki, they've just started baking a bread made with a grain you've probably never heard of. It's called Salba and was once grown by the ancient Aztec Indians of South America. Legend has it that it gave them so much of a boost they called it the running food. Eat a handful of it and you have the energy to run all day. The grain is now enjoying a revival around the world, and its possible health benefits are being studied in Europe and North America. Richard Langston followed that story to the small town of Manaia in South Taranaki.
Even when it's having a big day, Manaia is slow to wake, and the town's having a big day today because the bread factory's having a big day. That's where 1 in 4 people in the town work.
And many of our staff are third generation, so their fathers, grandfathers worked here, so it's all part of a family-based company in Manaia.
So when the company announces it's putting a new grain in its bread, which it hopes will ensure the company's survival and improve people's health, the town turns out in support. It's billed as a super grain, and among the crowd is one of the South American farmers who grows it. Alfredo says the grain, Salba, was originally grown by the ancient Aztecs, who prized it as a source of energy.
It was called the running food. In fact, once again, they said that you just take a spoon of Salba and drinking water, you can run or have enough water in your body to run the whole day.
The crop, grown in Peru, is a booming export, and researchers in Europe and North America are now studying its nutritional value.
It also has a lot of minerals like calcium or magnesium, potassium. 1/3 of Salba is fiber, very good fiber. 1/3 is fat, which is very good fat, is omega-3 fat.
Which is why a bakery in South Taranaki is putting the South American grain in its bread. The company believes its claimed health benefits could make it a winner in the marketplace. And university studies have shown Salba may be very good for us. A Canadian researcher says giving diabetics 3 or 4 teaspoons of Salba for 3 months during clinical trials had distinct health benefits for them.
It improves management of diabetes because people with diabetes have problem with high blood pressure that was reduced, and as I said, beyond medication, so they were taking medication and Salba added effect to the medication, and then also reduce other major 2 risk factors which are novel emerging, which is body inflammation, so-called low-grade body inflammation, and also make blood thinner.
Which is why the Salba message was taken onto the local marae at Manaia. Māori have a particularly high incidence of diabetes, double that of non-Māori, and here might be some help in a slice of bread.
These are pretty significant. It's preliminary study, but we are very excited because this kind of findings you don't see much in medicine and you don't see much in nutrition as well.
So the academics who've looked into the qualities of Salba are excited but cautious about its benefits. Yarrow's is banking on them. It survived for 85 years to become the country's largest independent baker and says it's only done so through innovation and risk.
Oh, very tough. We're up against the largest multinational players in this part of the world. But again, we have to make our bread better, we have to make it with better nutrition, and we have to make it fresher, and our service has to be second to none.
The bakery believes Salba may ensure the future well-being of its business and the town, and that others may find benefits in its new daily bread.